Hello, this is LordUg and welcome to some League of Legends. Now, in the past I have done champions that showing the champions that I like and that I've bought in the past, and kind of gone through them all now, but then they brought out a new one only a couple of weeks ago, in the last week or 2 weeks. His name's Yasuo, who I'm playing here, and first of all, I'm going to play you a little video that's from the official League of Legends video of Yasuo that tells you his abilities, so that then I don't have to cover them in-game. So I'll show you that video now.
Yasuo's passive, Way of the Wanderer, has two components. The first, Intent, doubles Yasuo's critical strike chance, so building 50% crit on Yasuo means his attacks always critically strike. The second component in Yasuo's passive is Resolve. Yasuo's resource bar, his flow, is replenished through movement. The faster Yasuo moves, the faster he refills his flow. If Yasuo takes damage from enemy champions or neutral monsters while his flow bar is full, he converts his flow into a shield for a few seconds. Yasuo's E, Sweeping Blade, affects several of his other abilities, so let's start there. Sweeping Blade is a single target dash that damages and marks Yasuo's enemy, signaling that he cannot dash to them again until the mark is dissipated. Sweeping Blade has a fixed distance, so if he's standing close to his target, he'll dash through it. Each successive cast deals increased damage up to a cap, so it's advantageous to dash through several targets at a time to maximize your damage output. Unlike most dashes, Sweeping Blade can be interrupted by all crowd control effects. When caught overextending, Yasuo can use Sweeping Blade to dash through enemies toward the safety of his turret. Next up is Yasuo's Q, Steel Tempest. After a brief channel, Yasuo thrusts his sword out in the direction of your cursor, damaging all enemy units hit. Steel Tempest functions as a basic attack, meaning Yasuo can crit with it, and he applies on-hit effects to the closest struck enemy. If Yasuo casts Steel Tempest 3 times in a row, his third cast sends out a long-range whirlwind that damages and knocks up all enemies in a line. In lane, Steel Tempest is Yasuo's bread and butter ability. With its low cooldown, he can use his Q to last hit and harass as he builds stacks towards his whirlwind. By casting the ability so frequently, he's able to use the knockup to land extra attacks on Kha'Zix. Yasuo can also activate Steel Tempest while dashing with Sweeping Blade. When used mid-dash, the ability slashes all enemies immediately around him. If he dashes with Sweeping Blade while hitting his third Q, Yasuo also knocks them up into the air. Wind Wall has a passive and active component. Passively, it increases the rate at which dashing replenishes Yasuo's flow bar. Activating the ability instantly sends out a wall in a target direction that blocks all enemy projectiles for a few seconds, including ranged auto attacks, skill shots, and targeted abilities. The only projectiles that the wall doesn't stop are turret attacks. Still, Wind Wall is an extremely powerful ability with the potential to block tons of damage, when timed and positioned correctly. Cast Wind Wall behind you while retreating from ranged enemies to ensure a successful disengage. Yasuo's ultimate is Last Breath, which has an enormous cast range but can only be used on airborne enemy champions. Activating Last Breath teleports Yasuo to his target, suspending them in mid-air briefly while he deals physical damage to them. After landing, Yasuo gains a huge long-lasting armor penetration buff that affects enemy champion bonus armor. There are 2 important aspects worth pointing out here. First, Last Breath suspends and strikes all airborne enemies in the area near Yasuo's target. Second, Yasuo can capitalize on any knockup ability with Last Breath, making him synergize extremely well with champions like Janna. Last Breath is an extremely powerful ability with the potential to turn the momentum of any fight. Here, Yasuo is able to chain his ult with Malphite's initiation to safeguard Sejuani's retreat.
Okay, so now you know what Yasuo's abilities are and how they work, and what his basic passive, his basic move is. You've got to remember, it doubles your crit chance. That's important in this game. So anyway, what I will tell you is this: because the character's so new, there's no real guide out for him yet. So I have actually had to put together my own masteries and runes. I'm not going to go through the masteries and runes because I'm not an expert at this, and I know there'll be people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't pick that, you should pick this," and you should. I'm not doing that because, like I say, I'm not an expert. I've just picked some runes and masteries that I think will fit me, and they have done so far, so that'll do. Although the items I've also had to pick myself, and I will show you them. Now, in the items, I've gone for certain things. Of course, attack. You do need attack with being a melee fighter, so I've gone for attack. The second important thing is critical strike chance. Simply because, as you heard, your first basic attack does double your critical strike chance. So say your current bonus, see where it says current bonus 0%. Let's say that says 20%. Then if you look on here, where it says critical chance, that'll be doubled to 40. So there's a 40% chance that your attack, what you do, will crit. Now if you get it to 50% and it doubles, that means, which it will do, which means every time you swing your sword with Way of the Wanderer, or every time you use Steel Tempest, which is also classed as a basic attack, they will crit every single time. They will never miss. You'll get a crit every time. That is vital. So I do try and go for critical strike chance. I also go for movement speed, a bit of movement speed, attack speed of course, because when you've got a sword swinger I think attack speed is important. And finally I like to do a little bit of cooldown. Oh, and armour. I do get some armour of course, because we've got to if we're going to be fighting. Melee characters always getting the faces right into the action, so you need a bit of armour. And as I said, some cooldown, because if you look at Wind Wall, it's a long cooldown, and it's good if you can bring that down a little. So what I'm going to do, basically what your plan is to just kind of wear down the champion that's in your lane. You can wear him down just by keep using Steel Tempest, and then coming out with the tornado on the third strike, and that will that'll let you wear them down. It's better if you can wait till level 6 to attack, of course, because then you'll have your ultimate, which in this case is I forgot its name now. Last Breath. Now the thing about Last Breath, as you saw on the League of Legends video, is that it only actually works if the champion is airborne, which might seem awkward, but actually it's really useful and good, and because it can attack multiple targets, that's one good thing. And also you can use other champions, which comes to my other point I wanted to say, which is why I chose the champions I chose. If you look at these here, every single one can knock champions airborne. Now remember, when a champion is knocked airborne, I can then use my ultimate, which is what I'm planning to do. So I can use them all to help me, or any one of them to help me. Now as you see, I'm kind of wearing Ash down, and eventually she'll take off and not come back till later. And when she does that, that's fine. I'm just going to wait till I get my level 6 skill, and then I'll just kick her ass. So I'm good. I'm alright. Right, I'm going to go to something significant anyway, whether it be the first kill or whether it be my first item purchase. I don't know yet, but I'll be right back. Okay, so here's my first kill. I've had a bit of trouble getting to Ash because she stayed under a tower, but eventually she moves far enough away. So I move in, throw out the tornado, knock her in the air, and then use Last Breath. As soon as I land, I drop Ignite, which is a good idea because I missed Steel Tempest. And she still gets killed anyway because Ignite hits her, but yeah, I missed that Steel Tempest that tried to kill her, but it still shows you how it works and how quickly you can get that Last Breath in. So that was the first kill, so I'll be right back. Okay, so my first purchase is an upgrade to my boots. I go for the Ionian Boots of Lucidity, simply because of the cooldown reduction, which of course I've said I wanted to get because of things like Wind Wall. You can go for like Mercury Treads, but I go for Ionian Boots. Also I add Home Guard to them, of course, so I can get off the mark when I go back to base and get off instantly and back into the action very quickly. So now we come to my first proper item purchase, and it's the Phantom Dancer. Now I go for the Phantom Dancer because it gives you attack speed, which as I said is important with a sword swinger, crit strike chance, so I can actually start to get that up and doubled on my base attacks, and movement speed, which is always handy, plus you can move through units once you have this one. So Phantom Dancer for me fits Yasuo pretty well. So this kill here is kind of Yasuo's bread and butter. You use your Steel Tempest, get to your Tornado, throw it out, which I do here, knock Garen in the air, straight into Last Breath. Last Breath takes all his energy and down he goes. Just shows how quick Yasuo can go from just being quite a distance away, right up in your face, and you're dead. So yeah, that's your bread and butter kill for Yasuo. Nice and simple. You're going to see a double kill here, and what you'll see is that I throw out my Steel Tempest Tornado at Trundle and Garen, but they're too high up on health, so I don't activate Last Breath, because it ain't going to do enough damage. But then you see Cho'Gath come in from the side and hit them with his Rupture skill that knocks him in the air. I then use his Rupture skill to use Last Breath, and then from there I do Sweeping Blade on Trundle and kill him, and which you'll see in a second here, and then I move straight into Steel Tempest Stab and kill Garen straight after. So there you go. You know, that seemed like, you know, it was just a lot of action going off. Suddenly I used Cho'Gath's move. I'd used my Tornado, so I couldn't do it. He knocked him into the air. I used his move to come right down and then finished him off with 2 quick hits, and that was a nice quick double kill. So that just again shows the kind of speed that Yasuo has. Also, as you saw there, I bought my next item, which was Guardian Angel. Bought that because it gives me nice 50 armor, 40 magic resist, and also when you if you die, it will bring you back to life with 30% of your max health, so you can carry on fighting. So it doesn't actually count that you've died. It counts that you just got basically taken down, but it won't add on to your death count. So I think that is a nice addition for Yasuo, since he is a melee fighter that will get into the action, and it just makes it so that then he can take a bit more of a knock, and that 50 armor really does help. This one's just a quick kill on Garen again. It comes down at the wrong time. Cho'Gath's Rupture straight into. Now in that one I didn't even do anything. I was just running up, and then I saw Cho'Gath use his Rupture, and that was it. I just went in with Last Breath, and the kill was mine, and Garen was dead. My next purchase is Infinity Edge. It's like it's made for Yasuo. Besides the 70 attack, it also gives you 25 crit, which of course crit's important to us. And what makes it even more important is that with this, the critical strike deals 250% damage instead of 200%. And since you're critical strike all time now with your first 2 skills, that is vital. This kill shows off very well how quick Yasuo can just deal damage and kill. So we're being chased by Nunu, Graves and Ashe. Nunu breaks off, and so does Graves in a second. I throw out my Steel Tempest Tornado, hit Ashe, and then she's dead. Boom, and then one swing at sword and she's dead. And then what that showed were just how quick he can go from stood under his tower, under his turret, keeping safe, and then they break off. They give him that little opening. Before you know it, the tornado's out, and Last Breath is in action, and it's over. So here I'm going back to base for my next item purchase, which is going to be the Maw of Malmortius. I like this one because it gives you 60 attack, but it also gives you 40 magic resist, which is good. That gives you some armor, some protection, but it's got 2 passives. One will give you a bit more attack, but the second one is the one for me that I like, and that is if you take magic damage that will take your health below 30%, it puts a shield up round you that protects you for 400 magic damage for 5 seconds, which I think personally is great protection, especially when it goes along with Guardian Angel. So here's 2 kills, not a double kill, but 2 kills pretty close together. Myself and Cho'Gath come across a fight in mid lane, and it's Trundle and Garen. So we fight a little bit. I manage to get my Tornado going, and I use it and go in on Trundle, take a lot of his health down, and then me, Cho'Gath and Xin Zhao take him down, but the kill goes to me. I then chase after Garen, and it looks like he's got away, but then he nips back to have a go at Xin Zhao, but that lets me throw out my Tornado and slow him down. From there I speed in at him and give him 1 poke from the extended stab, of course, that you get with Steel Tempest, and that killed him. That's a good show of another thing besides the Tornado that Steel Tempest has going for it, where you can stab that, where you get that extended reach on your stab. He was just out of my range from normal swinging, but I could still reach him with that stab, and that's what killed him. So yet again, another string to his bow. So I missed showing you his final purchase, so I'm going to tell you about it here. The last item is Zephyr. It's perfect for Yasuo, like it was meant for him. Attack damage, attack speed, movement speed, cooldown, all in one item. Plus it reduces stuns, slows, etc, etc. So it is absolutely perfect for Yasuo and the perfect ending to his items. So here I'm being chased by Garen and Nunu, so I put my wind wall up. It stops Nunu's ice blast so it doesn't slow me down. I hit them with tornado and Garen runs off eventually. And because of my very low cooldown on Steel Tempest, it lets me get my tornado up again quickly, so I can get in at Nunu and kill him. But did you see that range that was activated from? Well, just look at that again a little bit slower. Well, that was more than half the screen away. You know what I mean? It was quite a distance that he actually dragged that in from, and that just shows how good Yasuo is at killing from a great distance and very quickly. Nunu never saw that coming. This first kill shows the benefit of Wind Wall. I see Ash and Graves coming down towards me, so I put Wind Wall up. It blocks projectiles. It lets me stab Ash and not even get hurt. Ash runs off, leaving Graves on his own. So I just use Steel Tempest and a few swings with my sword and he's dead. I start to run up and I see that Ash is teleporting. Well, I've been putting my movement speed up, so it lets me catch her up enough to use Sweeping Blade, which then slides me behind her so I can come straight up with Steel Tempest and kill her. See, that's a good example of why we put his movement speed up, because then he can bring out 2 kills when really should have only had 1. Okay, quite a bit goes off in this section, so I'll try and stay ahead of it. Garen, Graves and Trundle are chasing me. I managed to hit him with the tornado. Graves moves off, I turn and kill Trundle. Garen runs away and gets away. Then I put my wind wall up as Graves comes back in, and then I throw the Steel Tempest tornado at Graves. It hits him and takes off, and then I hit Last Breath. And from there I stab him, slash him, kill him, and that's him dead. Again, Garen gets away. Charge up my tornado. Garen turns back in at me and then runs again, and I manage to hit him with my tornado and then Steel Tempest, but still is not dead and it looks like he's getting away. Then I see some minions coming, so I quickly use Sweeping Blade to get me closer to Garen. Then from there I use Sweeping Blade again to connect up with Garen. From there then, I can use Steel Tempest to stab him and finally kill him. And that in itself shows another good thing that Yasuo can do by using Sweeping Blade to catch up. Sorry guys, but that's all there is for now. The Fraps froze just after that kill, so it didn't record anymore. I did end up with about 30 odd kills and then we finished it. But yeah, it's nothing I could do about it, so I didn't get the footage. However, it doesn't matter, because as you noticed, I cut a lot of kills out there, but that's because a lot of them were just the bread and butter ones, tornado, Last Breath, dead, and killed them and that. And you didn't need to keep seeing that. I did that in the others, I didn't think of that. I kept repeating ones. In this one I tried not to, so I thinned it down and just showed ones that I thought showed something good. But and yes, by the way, I know I'm using bots again. I've told you before, humans are inconsiderate. If I said to humans, excuse me, can you stand still while I kill you and show these skills? They're just going to say, screw you, pal. So what's the point? If you use some bots, they don't argue, they just do as they're told. So yeah, that's why I use bots. So stop asking or mentioning about it. Damn, it's happened every time. Okay, move on. Anyway, I think that shows the versatility of Yasuo and how amazing he actually is. And though just about all his skills have a purpose. Yeah, you've got the tornado that goes perfect with the Last Breath. And you sort of saw how quickly that burst damage is, where you can just zoom in, Last Breath, takes a lot of damage, they're dead. But also how you can use Last Breath with other champions to make it so that they knock them in the air and you still use Last Breath. That's how versatile that is. You know, then on top of that, you got an example of Wind Wall, when I used it to face down Graves and Ash. They shot all their projectiles, didn't do a thing to me. I came out of it, killed Graves, and that movement speed let me kill Ash, so I took 2 kills there. And then finally, when you saw that Sweeping Blade move with the minions, where I caught up Garen, it looked like he'd go away. It didn't look like I was going to catch him. I used the Sweeping Blade to hit a minion, which zoomed me in closer to him. Sweeping Blade then to catch him up right behind him, and then a Steel Tempest just to kill him. So it shows that Yasuo's, all his skills have a really big part in his game, and can all be utilised to get you kills. So I've got to admit, Yasuo right now is my favourite champion of all, and I'm really enjoying playing him. Anyway, guys, that's it. Hope you've enjoyed this show into Yasuo. You'll find that the League of Legends YouTube channel is in the description if you want to go. It'll tell you all about different champions if you're wondering about different champions, and also it shows you a lot of different things on there. So go take a look. You might like what you see and learn something. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of Yasuo. Say it in the comments. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Love you all. Take care.